to get it to Portugal. I undertook all that, and I sent it to France, and that was the best business I ever did.
By the mid-1800s, as Europe turns into a hotbed of war, its countries increasingly need the foreign exchange market.
To start a war, you need money. If you lose a war, you often have to pay the other side.
For the House of Rothschild, wars become a profitable business. Their network of banking houses provides a unique competitive advantage.
Back then, the modern banking system was just starting, so they could charge high fees, sometimes as much as 8% for providing currency exchange services.
But revenues from commissions are just a small part of their income source. The Rothschilds understand that in the world of finance, information is everything, and speed is king.
They were one of the earliest successful forex traders, using private carriers and even leveraging well-trained horses and pigeons. The Rothschilds stay steps ahead of the competitors.
As a result, currency speculation becomes their most profitable business. The profit for the London house keeps rolling in, and Nathan Rothschild becomes the richest man in the world. But even the most powerful man in finance can't defeat the ultimate enemy. On July 28, 1836, the unexpected happens. Nathan Rothschild, the wealthiest man in the world, dies at the age of 58.
This was surprising because the Rothschild family was known for living long lives. In fact, when Nathan died, his mother was still alive, and she lived to be over 90 years old.
The London Times gathered itself up for one of its rare superlatives. The death of Nathan Mayer Rothschild, an editorial said, is one of the most important events for the city and perhaps for Europe in a long time. No operations, comparable to his, have existed in Europe to this time.
Nathan Rothschild's death has a huge impact on the market, but the House of Rothschild lives on without him. Thanks to a decentralized banking system they have created, the banks of Rothschild's family continue to thrive. But now, they need a new leader. Nathan Rothschild's youngest brother, James Rothschild in Paris, becomes the commander-in-chief of the family dynasty. For James, the pressure of being a Rothschild is immense. While government bonds and war financing remain profitable businesses for the family, the competition saturates the playing field, eating away at their profit margin. To bring his family new glory, he looks for a new edge.
Nathan's youngest brother James was markedly less submissive to his will than the other three. The youngest brother was intellectually and temperamentally Nathan's equal. He also had the advantage of a better schooling. Even in acknowledging Nathan's leadership, James was less than deferential.
James Rothschild soon sets his sights on a new burgeoning industry, the railroads. In the early 1800s, Europe witnesses rapid railroad expansion, starting with England's Stockton-Darlington line in 1825. Railroads revolutionized transportation, foster industrial growth, enhance trade, and reshape landscapes, ultimately connecting major European cities and regions. Throughout the 1840s, the Rothschilds provide financing for many railway ventures, reaping substantial profits from commissions and trading railroad bonds and stocks.
The Rothschilds were clever with their money. They often used other people's money to reduce their own risks. James Rothschild played a big part in what was known as syndicate in France during this time.
By now, the Rothschilds are more than bankers, but the bank remains at the heart of the family business and generates the funds that are then invested in assets that are in increasing demand. Metallurgy, mining, and above all, railways.
While profits for the House of Rothschild soar, average people struggle to make ends meet. The income disparity between the rich and the poor remains as pronounced as ever.
The industrialists of that period of time are people who are out for themselves to make large fortunes as quickly as possible, even if it means pressing the envelope of what they have to do.
After suffering consecutive wartime defeats, by the 1840s, the French government finds itself deep in debt. And as a result, the nation's economy teeters on the brink, leading the French populace to grow increasingly resentful of both the government and the financiers backing them. Within days, the Rothschild Bank in France nears its breaking point.
Zillow helped me land this Airbnb listing. Yes, Zillow. And Airbnb paid me $22.
As the head of the French bank, James is desperate to save his institution. He turns to his nephew in London, Lionel, the son of Nathan Rothschild, for assistance.
The French Revolution brought their houses in Vienna and Paris to the brink of insolvency, obliging the others in London to bail them out.
By then, the Rothschild family's banking business had been around for almost 2 generations.
For Lionel, bailing out his uncle's branch poses a significant risk and at a potential loss. However, to him, family unity ranks above all else. His London bank arranges a loan, saving his uncle's bank from collapse. But it doesn't stop there. Lionel Rothschild believes in prioritizing his family, but he also feels compelled to uplift his people. Lionel thinks that to further the cause of eliminating prejudice against people of his ethnicity, it's beneficial to enter government.
Lionel had a lot of money, so he used the money to buy a lot of press to help him get elected.
By the middle of the 19th century, most of the restrictions on British Jews had been done away with. The Commons passed a bill permitting the seating of a Jew. In August 1847, Lionel de Rothschild mounted the hustings as Liberal candidate for the city of London. Lionel was elected.
There is a problem. To be fully sworn in as a member of the Commons, he would have to recite an oath to the Holy Scriptures. But Lionel refuses and insists he will swear only on the Old Testament. Becoming part of the government is monumental for the House of Rothschild. As James Rothschild ages, Lionel gradually assumes the role of the family's patriarch. But what Lionel doesn't realize is that, though the House of Rothschild reigns supreme in Europe, a new banking empire emerges, poised to challenge their dominance. The early success of Rothschild is largely attributed to information, intelligence, and knowledge.